So welcome everybody to our community playtime, which is going to be us playing with some tarot cards tonight and oracle cards, and just taking in some new information to guide us into the new year that is about to start soon. We are recording on the 14th of December, just a week away from solstice and a week away from when we get into Capricorn season. So this energy and what we're focusing on tonight is going to be doing a reading. I'm going to be guiding you guys through a reading for you guys to do personally for yourself. That's going to be going with each of the zodiac signs, starting with Capricorn at winter solstice. And we're going to be running through the whole year. It's the whole 12 zodiac signs. Now we have a mix of some of my students that have been just completing the intuitive soul astrology, which we are starting up again in January to go a little more deeply. So those students and those of you even that haven't been in that course with me, you guys may have whatever you are at for your astrology. And so you can take and add and apply that to this reading. And I also know there is at least 2 people, I believe, on this call that have done my tarot weavers. Yeah, 2. So we have a little bit of tarot people, we got a little bit of divination people, we got some astrology people, and we got some lovely new people that I have never worked with, which is really exciting to see some new blood, some new blood. So ideally for tonight, for any of you that are joining later, we want 2 tarot decks and 1 oracle deck. If you only have 1, that is okay. You're just going to be pulling your tarot cards from the 1 deck, completely fine, and use with what you got. Okay, use what you got. Now I want to just side note for those of you for tarot or for the zodiacs, just to break down some notes here. I'm going to give you guys correlating tarot cards that go with the zodiac signs. And I know my astrology ladies are like, oh, good, awesome, we're adding to that. So I'm also giving it just, we're going to go through it because if it comes up in one of the tarot cards that come up too in your reading, you have a little bit of like, oh, there's something pulling in here with that medicine, that energy. So let's start with that. I always like, when I'm doing speaking astrology and zodiacs, I originally always like to start with my Aries. This is where the wheel of the zodiac sign starts. So we're going to start there. So for Aries, the Emperor in the tarot deck represents that. So if you see that one come up, it is also working with bringing in, talking about Aries. Taurus is the Hierophant. What was that point, Nancy?
Just like, because I'm a ruling number 5. And so I was, oh, that was all. I'm like, hey, I know that one.
And I'm a ruling number 5, Nancy. I don't even know if you know that. Do you know that after all these weeks together? I'm a ruling 5 too. So any of you, if you know your ruling number, the Hierophant there is the 5. So Gemini is the Lovers. Cancer is the Chariot. Leo is Strength. Virgo is the Hermit. Libra is Justice. Scorpio is Death. And Sagittarius is Temperance. And then Capricorn is the Devil. Aquarius is the Star. And Pisces is the Moon. Now I want to say something about Pisces and the moon, because that card, the moon, can also definitely bring in Cancer sign, because Cancer, the zodiac sign of Cancer, is ruled by the moon, right? And we also see the crab on the classic tarot card itself. So there is a Cancer symbolization in that card. So know that there is, I see that with those two cards. But classically, when we're looking at the zodiac signs in these cards in the tarot in this way, those are the relating classic cards to the tarot and the zodiac signs. We also have zodiac. We learned through the program that, you know, we have the elements. And so the cards also have the elements in that too. And we can see that with our suits. So if you're seeing, you're getting a lot of particular suits, like the Pentacles, Earth, Swords is air. The Cups is water. And then the Wands is fire. So a little layering in there for you guys, that's bridging elements with astrology, but also the tarot itself and some tarot wisdom in there. So we're just kind of weaving a bit of different wisdoms in there for you guys to hopefully meet you to wherever you're at and what you have. So I'd like to know, hands up, who is really familiar with the tarot? Okay, sweet. And Sharon's like, I come see, come stop. Right. Perfect. And then I know I have my astrology girls here, but who else is in this call really familiar with the zodiac signs itself? Yeah. Cindy, you're like, yeah, you're pretty good on that. Yes. Okay, perfect. And what about the elements, the essence, who works with elements in different ways, whatever that might look like, because you can work with the elements in so many different ways. I certainly do. Kind of, okay. Perfect. So tonight's reading, what we're going to do, I mean, we have a new year coming up. New year in the sense of we hit winter solstice here in the northern hemisphere. We hit, you know, the turn when Capricorn is arising. The sun is in Capricorn, December 21st. And, you know, we feel this, the light return. There's that wheel of the year energy that's happening there. And we feel that, you know, that 2022 is like just kind of starting to get going. You can feel the energy of it. And so we're going to be looking at the energy as we run around that whole wheel. So we're going to be doing a reading for each of those zodiac signs tonight. But I also want us to do a core reading in the middle with the 4 elements, and also spirit, source, message, higher self right in the middle. So because because I'm having some issues with the shoulder, I didn't want to be up fiddling with my camera and trying to move it so you guys see what I'm doing, which I actually think is a really good thing, because I really want you guys to focus on your cards and what's being laid out. So I'm going to be verbally telling you what I'm doing, and you're going to be focusing on what you have right in front of you so you can go more deeply. Danielle, you'll be listening to what I have. You could be taking notes, any of that stuff. Plus later, I'm going to do a little bit more deeply into the collective one I'm going to pull. So space, what you need. I know you guys said you're pretty prepped with pen, paper, and whatever tarot and oracle cards you have. Space in front of you. Classically, I really do like writing or doing my reading like this in a circle on the space in front of me. Now that takes up a bit of space. You know, if I had this all set up in front of me, I definitely have it because I've created that in so many different ways when I do readings for people. But if you do not have it, you're like, Roberta, I can't possibly be doing 12 spots in a circle, which we're going to have 3 cards in each of those spots too. You cannot think whatever's in front of you, do that. That's okay. You will do a layering out, whether it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a row below it, you know, 7 to 12, just keeping it, knowing that we're starting at Capricorn, start the new year and running it through. But if you have that beautiful space to do a nice circle, I highly recommend it because I know it just gives that nice visual of the flow of the year itself. So who has that space in front of them? Okay, a few of you kind of like, no. All right, so you're going to do whatever you need to do. You have your pen and paper, which is the important thing. We're starting at Capricorn, right? We're starting there. Now, I repeat that because, like I said, we just did our astrology, and we always classically start in Aries when the wheel starts there. We're not starting there. We're going to start right at the top here of the calendar year itself. We're going to keep our elements reading in the middle, since not all of you have a circle, the space to do that. We'll keep that separate at the end. Sharon, card, just make sure, Roberta, make sure we do the 4 and the spirit, a little reading at the end. Just make sure I do it, in case, I get all excited and I forget to say it. Someone make sure that we stop and pause and do that last little piece. Okay. So, paper. So I liked to work, I have tons of decks on that. My favorite decks, I've pulled out tonight, but I always like to ask, who needs to be here with me? Lily, I'm asking my decks of cards. Who needs to be here with me tonight for this particular reading to help me, give me support and guidance for this new year that is about to begin, 2022, starting with the beautiful Capricorn season as I do this Zodiac reading? What cards are the most important that wants to be here to support me for this reading, for this forecast? So I always like to lean into that, because hopefully you guys will dive in a little more deeply in different ways, maybe with this kind of reading at other times. The other thing is you might want to clean and cleanse your space, smudge, spray, bless, whatever. I always like to just make sure the space feels really good and clean, even if I'm just verbally saying, I'm here calling upon the divine support and guidance of the highest good to help me and support me as I do a collective reading this evening for 2022 for the Zodiacs. And I ask for the guidance and support for those that will connect to this reading, that will bring them some support, comfort, and guidance throughout the year. And you would say whatever you need to say for yourself, just setting the pace, setting an attention, talking to your cards. Your cards are your divining, your divination tool that's supporting you right now, and you're connecting with your higher self and source, spirit, whatever that looks and feels like for you, to help you through, and so that whatever is coming out, you feel soulfully aligned. If we're not connected when we're doing this, is divining, this is divination. If we're not soulfully cleansed and clear and rooted, we feel a disconnect. It's like wishy-washy, our readings, right? If any who does readings here for yourself to play, yeah. So you probably understand what I'm saying. If we're just not fully in it and cleanse and clear, it's like, yeah. But if we really anchor in, we call in exactly, we can feel that deep connection with the cards talking with us. Okay. So always, I would say, waking up at your decks too, with the shuffling, knocking, whatever it is. You might have a ritual theme of how many times you have to want to shuffle it, whatever it is. Sometimes we all have a little bit of routines, and within that, I'm just making sure I have everything that I want to connect it in front of me, my 2 decks. So collectively, the cards I'm using, I will post with this video. When I post it, I'll put it in the description, what cards I have, who they are, so you guys know when you see my reading, and I will definitely do a picture out for you guys and put it with that. And I'm just waking up my cards a bit for today. And I just want to add, I know some of you got this deck. And for those of you that are coming along for the January start for us to go into the Soul Astrology Foundations, I do highly recommend this deck. Sharon, I know you're coming along. And Barb, who's not here on the call, she's going to be on the recording. I think she's probably already ordered hers in. Danielle, I think you were on the call when I did a little show and tell on this one there a couple weeks back. What's great about this? deck. It's fairly new. It's like, what, maybe like 6 weeks or so out. It's not been out for very long. It is a great support if you're diving into learning your astrology, the zodiac signs, the houses, the planets, other supporting astrological elements and essence and aspects within this are here. And that means the cards are beautiful. So for any of you that have this, I did pull out mine, but I don't have the space here in front of me right now, but I pulled out just the zodiac out of it. And so that I could be laying my Capricorn, like all of them there. So I know that my layering is out there with it, especially if I can't do my circle and I have quite a few little layering. It's kind of like place marks and reminds you, and also reminds you of the essence. These cards give a lot of imagery to them that just help you remind you what the essence of the zodiac is in itself without having to go to the book. It's just, there's a lot there. New people to me, do you guys know this deck? Yeah. Amanda, do you have it? No, not yet. Okay. Okay. The choice of the oracle cards. So when you're picking your oracle cards, I know you guys have what you have, unless I know there's some of you that have a lot of decks around you, just around you. But making sure you're, it's one that really is going to be a theme and supports, right? It's going to be the card that you lay for each of them that's going to bring what the essence and support is there for you for that month, for that zodiac. And so I would personally was really torn. Apparently I really, I do love Kyle. He is great. New deck. Sorry. Apparently I want to talk about some new decks. I literally just got this in the mail the other day. I had done the pre-order with Kyle when it was coming out for him. So this is his latest. And I would say if you guys are feeling more higher elevation of portals and things like that and activations in your life, and you're working with that, this is going to be a great deck to help you with that. Gateway of light and activation. And so because I'm doing a collective, I'm going to be pulling actually two. I'm going to be doing for those that feel that higher activation path that they're on. And I'm going to be pulling myself from the angels and ancestors, because they are great for that guidance and support. All right. Breaking these up a little bit more. So getting ready with whatever you have there, writing down that you're starting in your Capricorn, starting on the 21st. We first want to call upon the support, the theme card. It's from your Oracle deck. Danielle, since you're sitting and listening, and anybody else that just ends up sitting and listening, even spiritually, soulfully, ask for an image of something that come down for Capricorn for you. Maybe an image of an animal. What animal might work with you? What crystal might work with you? There's things like that you can be weaving and doing for yourself too when you're doing these. So let's do our Capricorn. Each of us pull that and pulling collectively support and guidance for the collective for Capricorn. And I'm pulling also, like I said, I'm doing 2 cards for the higher support and guidance.
Sorry, Roberta, we're pulling from our Oracle deck right now.
First Oracle deck, guys. Okay. Capricorn, first zodiac that we're doing on this forecast. Capricorn, your Oracle card. Don't mind that I am doing 2 because of doing a collective. Okay. And then here's what we're going to be doing with our 2 tarot decks. And if you only have one, you're just pulling from your one, and that's totally fine. We want a divine masculine and a divine feminine card that is going to be supporting us through this zodiac, the Capricorn zodiac. So the first month. Capricorn, divine masculine energy that is supporting us. And the divine feminine. So I'm really, so Danielle, as you're sitting waiting for me to share what I just pulled, this is the collective. So I pulled for the guide for the collective, the traveler, move in a new direction. That is Kyle Gray's Angels and Ancestors. And then the higher elevated soulful cards, I just felt like I needed to pull something from his activation, is the crown chakra upgrade. It says divine connection, holy experiences, and miraculous energy. And what's really interesting is both of my tarot for divine feminine and masculine were the Justice card. So this tells me, first of all, this was Libra, right? I gave you guys the card tarot for Libra. So this is coming up saying, pay attention to a little bit of Libra energetics of the Zodiac. It might even be pulling that there may be a bounce or something at that time. But also the fact that the divine masculine and divine feminine, which we have in all of us, so our masculine side, our feminine side, but also we could be looking at this as a relationship, but we're going to keep it for ourselves. So our divine masculine, divine feminine is in a harmony, wanting balance, wanting justice. We're starting this year out wanting, focusing here collectively. And we are going into a 6 energy year in January. And, you know, it's a lot about karma, about love and harmony and balance. So it's lovely that we're collectively getting something here, especially at this time with justice itself. And that there is moving in a new direction. Collectively, I'm just like, yeah, of course, we are moving in a new direction. And the crown chakra wanting that upgrade. We're wanting to cleanse and clear and move forward. So little one for all of us on this reading, that. And after we do this, we're going to keep moving forward. I want you guys, of course, to be writing all these things down, and then we're going to do it open. Like, what were you noticing? Any questions that are coming up? Things like that. Okay, so let's move on to Aquarius. Doing the same thing. Your oracle card first, and your tarot. And I'm always finding I'm repeating in my mind just what it is I'm asking for. Masculine. For Aquarius. So what I'm getting for Aquarius is the first card for the oracle is the Water Guardian. Connect with your emotions. And the higher card of Source and Spirit is Symbala, Initiations. It says retreating to recharge, trusting in the process, and Dharma. And the Divine Masculine gets the Page of Wands and the 10 of Swords for the feminine. So when I get this, the Divine Masculine is ready to start something new with fire, with action, moving forward with new thoughts and ideas. And the Divine Feminine is saying, I am done and through with something. I'm done and ready to move on from a lot of hardships, a journey you've been on. It's time to get up and get going and move on. So this Aquarius. Interesting enough, we see the theme here for the collective with there being time to needing to recharge, to trust your emotions, to allow the elemental water. And Aquarius is the water bearer, not a water sign, but is the water bearer. And also the star, and the star tarot card is that classic, like her pouring the water between, right? The water around. Sorry, the between is the Temperance, but the water around within the star. So there's a lot of water, a lot of emotions that wanting to be moved and shifted in Aquarius season. So going next into our Pisces. Any of you guys that really, work with these kind of divination cards and that, I mean, it is amazing. You can't make this stuff up. Messages and the things that layer together. So for Divine Masculine for Pisces season. And the Divine Feminine. So Pisces season, we're moving, usually it's around the 18th to 20th of February, leading over the 4 weeks into March. So the support here has, for the collective, spring, see your seeds grow. So there's this energetic saying, hey, you're on track. This is the time when we start feeling and thinking and moving. Austera is coming. Spring is coming. We're in the inbox season for those of you that follow the wheel of the year. It's starting to think it has a rabbit, the fertility, the movement, moving forward. And then the higher source card here is the stellar gateway activation. It says infinite potential, manifest vortex. So they're saying there is something that's coming that we want you to be moving forward to, that there is so much to manifest, there's limited possibilities, and it's time for you to go through a portal for the Pisces season. The Divine Masculine has actually the Aries card, which is the Emperor, as I was mentioning to you guys, but this is like a 4 here. The 4 is about foundations, but also represents going through a portal, the number 4 itself, along with anchoring with a new foundation of something. And he's very solid. He knows what he wants. He's in control. The Divine Feminine has the 4 of Wands. We have 2 4s. Representing also coming through with this activation that wants to happen, another portal. And it's with the wands, the fire, the passion. She is wanting to move forward with something new that's sparking, inspiring her within her. So she's on track. It's definitely a month of saying, hey, we have a lot of support here for you to make your next transition, your next leap, to birth something, to get something growing. So we go into Aries, which is, like I said, the first zodiac sign of the wheel. And happens and marks right around that Austera. So as we shift into spring equinox here, the northern hemisphere. Aries. The high spirit vibration. The divine masculine card, divine masculine for Aries for 2022 for the collective, divine masculine support and guidance. Curious, is anybody else noticing major arcanas coming up and ones that are marking the other zodiac signs coming up in their reading? A little there, Sharon. If you're kind of looking, just kind of, yeah, a few.
Can you repeat that? What are we looking for?
I'm just curious if anybody's noticing. I mean, we've done 4 of the zodiacs time. Are you noticing major arcana cards?
Yes.
Not the suits, so the majors. And are you noticing the cards that represent other zodiac?
Yes.
That I mentioned.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So take note of that because I'm noticing that. Like I have 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas that represent other zodiac signs. So there could be those energetics wanting to pull in, like I said, but there also could be how it might be drawing to that time of the year coming forward too. Divine feminine. I have the Aries season for the collective. The theme guidance card here is mountains. Stand your ground. And then the higher source card here is order a Melachite, embraced by light, mission uncovered, don't give up. Well, it's funny, we always say when it comes to mountains, don't give up, it's perseverance. There's something you're on a journey for, right? It's usually to accomplish, to look, to have that beautiful vista, the journey itself. So there's the guiding, like it seems like there's a lot of higher activations that are supporting what the theme is. The divine masculine gets temperance, the balance of the yin and the yang, especially with this particular deck here. And so once again, temperance also talking about showing a connection to Sagittarius, and the feminine gets the 6 of Wands. So there, when I think, when I always think of the temperance, there is that yin, the yang, the balance that is coming in, but that there is higher support and guidance there for the divine masculine in Aries season. And the divine feminine, she is coming through a victory. The 6 of Wands is the card that she has returned from a victory, this celebration within her life, within her community. There's something that is about to birth that she can be happy and celebrate a journey that she has been on, which is interesting because, we had the card back that in Aries for collective, but the 10 of Swords for her, which I said, it's done, it's over, it's time to get going again. Like it's time to move forward. That was Aquarius. 2 months later in Aries, she is victorious. So this is saying to me, when I'm looking at this, she's gone through a portal in Pisces season to come out in Aries feeling victorious, and that she has started to move forward. So we got to remember that for us, for the divine feminine within us, with this 2022 forecast. Hopefully that's layering and making sense. Everybody's got that particular one done? Yeah. Maybe some of you are already moving on. So we're moving on to Taurus. I definitely need more space on my desk than with my laptop and notes. I'm starting my layering already. The card for the collective for 2022 for the Taurus season. Taurus season. card, an activation that would support Taurus season for the collective. Make that stuff up. And Divine Masculine card to support the collective in 2022 and the Taurus season. And Divine Feminine for season collectively for season supporting guardian card. So in Taurus season, I'm getting collectively the broken arrow. It says embrace energy of peace. And the higher card, spirit card is sacred inner peace. Sorry. Sacral chakra, tenderness, and sensuality. And of course, we think in Taurus season is ruled by Venus and has very much working with what is beautiful, what is nurturing, what is luxurious, working with sex and sexuality within themselves, within their relationships. So there's this echoing thing here saying, come into peace. Come into harmony, connect into those parts of yourself in Taurus season, and that there is support to feel that. And we feel like that in Taurus season here in the Northern Hemisphere, you know, we're moving into like, once again, the wheel of the year, we have Beltane, May Day. And so there's that energetics that's supporting that and definitely supporting collectively. The Divine Masculine got the 4 of Cups and the Divine Feminine got Judgment. So another major arcana there. 4 Cups for the Divine Masculine. It's like looking at what you have, what you don't have, paying attention. The 4 is another, like I said, going through a portal, foundations. This particular card, this deck that I chose, she is looking off into the distance. There's all these beautiful things. There's 3 cups off to the one side. And there's this big, beautiful cup that's down there that's got this like light and rainbow and energy that's coming up. But she's kind of not paying attention. So there's this like, what do you need to see that you have and pay attention? And also represent very much, Tauruses can be a bit of a dreamer too, right? So what, you know, how much are you daydreaming? How much are you seeing what is right there in case you're missing out on something? And the Judgment card there for the Divine Feminine is like, it's such a beautiful card too. It's like, coming to like fullness of non-judgment is what I'm getting. The acceptance, the moving into what is her higher self and being at peace, that there is no judgment. This is the second last card. So there's almost the end of the celebration of a journey to once again for her. So we're moving into Gemini season after Taurus. So that's around May 20th, somewhere right around there, depending on the astrological wheel, is when we shift into Gemini season. And if you remember that tarot card is the Lovers. They're also known as the twins, Gemini. So you can understand why a bit of that Lovers, the duality of things. For my season. It's funny when I'm looking at thinking of the Zodiac or the numerology too. We're going to have a 3 energy month amplifying through there through most at the start. Will it be a 3 energy? Let me hold on here. So as we move into June, which is the majority of Gemini season, there's that amplification energy there. If you guys know anything about Geminis, and being the twin and having an air sign ruled by Mercury, a lot of communication, but it can be like this back and forth and all over the place kind of feeling sometimes for Geminis. I can see a bit of this coming up here in this reading for Gemini season for the collective, kind of that inner battle that can happen, but I see the support here too. All right, so for Gemini season, I get the spirit, the guide, the theme. The first card is Shaman. It says trust in higher forces. And then the higher spirit card is Chamber of the Violet Flame. Karmic release and radical transformation. But we get the Divine Masculine has a 5 of Wands. And the Wands itself, remember, fire, passion, but also fives, a lot of change, can be a bit of a struggle, but it's also mastering something here to move forward within the 5 of Wands. So the Divine Masculine is definitely working a little bit harder. So the Divine Masculine within us is working a little bit more fiery, energetically, trying to sort through some stuff. And the Divine Feminine is the Queen of Cups. So she is feeling that peace, the mastery, the honoring of herself in her heart, in her emotions. Yet the Divine Masculine is getting a card that's almost like a struggle, like on the opposite, which is very true of the twins of Gemini. There's an inner struggle that pulls one way to this way, over this way, that way. And so we're seeing that even within the Divine Masculine and Feminine. But can they work together? Can they trust? Can they release? And this guides, like I said, we have Shaman, trust in a higher force. And we have a card that's saying, remember to go to the violet flame. Remember to clear out what is not working, what needs to be released, what needs to be transmuted. And especially our Divine Masculine side in Gemini season. If we feel that within ourselves, kind of bumping around and not quite sure and a little bit all over the place and a bit of an internal conflict within that side of ourselves, that masculine side, transform, move to a higher state and force of yourself. And then we move forward and we move on to Cancer season. The season of, water energy and of the moon guiding us, the emotions, the intuition. So it's calling upon support and guidance for the collective for Cancer season. Sorry. I'll tell you in a moment. Sharon Dunlop's like, tell me, Roberta.
Am I still on? So I thought I was muted.
No, I'm talking about the other Sharon who's like excited for me to say what I'm pulling here. Let me just say we get pretty much the first half of the year, and it's like, okay, get your shit together and get going. That's what I just heard. All right. Okay. The Divine Masculine for us for Cancer season 2022. I am Cancer season, right? Okay, not Gemini, right? So just got another major arcana, one that goes with the zodiacs again. All right. Wow. So Cancer season, collectively, we have the Direction Guardian. It says, choose your path. Freaking choose your path and get going. But I hear it as a very all right, loves, let's get going. And the supporting higher card for that is the Solar Light Upgrade. Solar plexus inner fire, willpower, which you're going to freaking need if you're going to start a new journey, right? So you got this higher activation that's coming and supporting you. And the divine masculine is getting the Lovers card, which related to the month before, to Gemini, right? The divine feminine's getting the King of Swords, knows her mind, knows what she wants, knows how to communicate, clean, clear thoughts. So what I'm seeing with this is, first of all, anybody that's looking for a union, and especially with a divine feminine, the divine feminine part of us will be like very clean and clear, knowing what they want, which is great because you're being asked, what's that forward direction? The divine masculine part of us is this union, this compassion, this choice and direction is also what the Lovers is asking here. But this also, because we just went through Gemini season, I'm also getting a message that there might be something coming in from Gemini season for this particular card too here for the Lovers, anybody that's calling that part in for themselves. But remember, there's also this divine union, right? The Lovers itself, the divine union of masculine and feminine. And the divine feminine, she's like, I got this. I know where I'm going, I know who I am, I know how to think and focus, and I'm clear. So then we move on to your next season after Cancer, which is Leo, fiery Leo. You guys are 2022. And we're getting shape shifter, transform and unveil your gifts. Seraphim gateway, voice activation, angelic attunement, and the divine support. It really feels like we're being supported step by step in a very lovely way throughout the year so far. It's like, if you do this and do your work and you take and you're balanced within this season, then okay, the next step, here we go. And the next step and the next step and the next step. Divine masculine saying he's getting the Death card, which was, I remember, who wants to remind me, any of my astrology people?
Scorpio.
Yes. Yeah. So there's another Zodiac card there that's coming up, Scorpio season. So death and rebirth. That's what this particular one card has for the divine masculine. There's a death and rebirth that is happening for that part. And the divine feminine apparently wanted to get a lot of cards. And so apparently she's really excited. So we're going to redo that. I hear she wants to just burst straight forward. And she is getting the Emperor. So here we go again. We just got another card, Aries. Anyhow, the Emperor, knowing, trusting, being in control, right? Having it all together, knowing what direction, where they're going and everything else. Master of their kingdom kind of thing. A divine masculine energy in itself, fiery. So she's embodying that part of herself as the divine masculine part is doing this restart, ready to let go and ready to rebirth. So it's a nice support there back and forth with the two of them. All right, I have so many cards in front of me here that I've run out of space. And now I'm really going to be layering. So now we're going into Virgo season. I have the Hermit coming up as support. And you know what's interesting about that is if it was a tarot card, which is not the tarot card, but that is the governing archetype, right, for Virgo season. So Virgo is getting the retreat, recharge within its season. Everything feels really very supportive and a beautiful flow in ways. Not to say there's the stuff, hey, get going in this and this, but. And then we have the central sun, abundance, downloads, regenerations, and success. That is the higher attunement. And I feel like during Virgo season, if you're stepping into going within to hearing, to knowing, then there's that support and gateway for the activation, the abundance and everything to come flowing down to you. Yeah, and I noticed we're at the top of the hour. We only have a few more signs left. The Divine Masculine is getting the Magician, and he apparently wants 2 cards. And I'm going to take them as 2. The Magician and the Tower. Very supportive once again that there is this beginning and something that has to crumble. And he just got that from the season before. So he's working about what is his gifts and magic, what is his medicine, and what is that transformation that is happening within him to move him forward, to birth him forward. Because the Tower is not necessarily like a big tragic event. It can be, but it can also be this rebirthing. And this particular card has butterflies coming up from the ashes in this particular deck. I'm using the Light Seers deck for the Divine Masculine. And the Feminine, once again, another 4. She's really anchoring on something new and moving through in certain portals of herself. So she gets the 4 of Swords for herself in Virgo season. What is true? What is new? What's being put into place? Very clean mind, watching herself within those choices and decisions she's making. And then we move into Libra season. Libra, moving into that feeling of that justice, the balance of the scales, air sign. Seer card, see beyond current situations. We get over there and we get into the end of September when we go into Libra, and we're starting to feel and think, we're in autumn equinoxes happen. We're glancing towards Samhain and going to that inner wisdom. And the support, the higher card for that is the Star, Earth Star activation, anchoring, grounded action, and Isis energy. I mean, this is a really powerful looking card. See that? Yeah. The Divine Masculine for Libra season, for the Divine Masculine. Let's see what's happening for Divine Masculine. Where's Divine Masculine moving to within from Virgo into Aries? Where is the Divine Masculine? What is moving for the Divine Masculine here? Supporting him. Okay. Definitely the Divine Masculine part of ourselves is struggling a little bit more in 2022. I can see that very clearly. He's getting the 8 of Swords. And in this particular deck, this 8 of Swords that I'm pulling, there's always a reason the cards that you pick. See how there's a reflection in the mirror, and she's got like a blindfold on. She's got all these, she's wrapped around, tied up in things, but really in reality, there's none of that. So watching the Divine Masculine has to watch that he doesn't trip himself up. So that means, we can, like I said, we're looking at this in relationships, which you totally can be, but also that Divine Masculine ourselves. Where in that masculine energy, action, passion, moving forward, where do we get ourselves tripped up sometimes? What is real? What is too much in our mind because it is Swords? Too much energy moving there? And what is really true? And then the Divine Feminine for Libra. The 9 of Swords. Okay, so Libra season. So next year at the end of September, when Libra season comes in for those 4 weeks, leading up right before Samhain, there is a sense. So 9 of Swords, like going through, has been through something, almost that 10 of Swords, right, where it's done and complete. It's just that last coming through the tunnel, coming through something. So it definitely seems like there's going to be a deeper purging or something that's going to be possibly happening with Libra season itself. for both. So maybe mark that, highlight that collectively. And then we go into Scorpio, deep, dark, watery Scorpio, ruled by planet, and all the lovely stuff that happens there. Do I have Scorpio? Sharon, are you Scorpio? Sharon Carr? No, you're just somewhere around there. Are you Libra? Yeah, okay, you're right before it. Okay. Get drop the shield, so protection guardian, drop the shield. Scorpio season is the guide, and the higher source card. Star gathering, stars align, remembering home, soul family, which is so important during Scorpio season. There is this traveling down into the depths to the underworld, right? To understand, to see what's been in the darkness, looking within. So it's a returning, it's coming home back to the deepness, which means going to the waters. And there's a lot of water within this particular card that I pulled for that. And you need to drop shields. You need to trust, surrender, flow, divine masculine. And finally, the divine masculine is getting the world. Divine masculine is getting the world. The last of the major arcanas for the divine masculine and Scorpio. So, there may be a celebration within ourselves of finally releasing and being, and that beautiful coming home. And the divine feminine gets her 5 of Cups. And when I think of the 5 of Cups, there is this, what do you have, what you're letting go of, right? It's one of those things too. Lots of emotions, they may be coming up and moving, and the releasing, the divine feminine part of ourselves may be releasing and thinking, what do we have? What is moving us forward? The divine masculine is feeling really like celebrating through this journey, and this remembering of, it's time to go deep, it's time to come home and remember yourself. And then we come up to Sagittarius, the last of the zodiac for this reading. Sagittarius. Okay, full journey, collective 2022, the 6th energy year. Lots of things with love and harmony and peace and relationships and the karmic kinds of things, right? So finishing the year off with Sagittarius, support and guidance. So, and I get Lord. It says, take charge with authority. Time to take charge and get going. Time to end this year and this journey on a high note. And what is the divine activation? The Emerald Tablet activation. Cosmic ordering, divine alchemy, and conscious manifesting. Well, please let us all have that by the end of 2022, going through that journey, right? I do feel personally, when I connect into the year coming ahead, that it is going to be a year still of many things coming up, things that just going to keep shifting. We're going to be seeing lots of different things, giving us opportunities. And there's this full, complete activation. I really think we're going to be seeing how we're working within ourselves to really move forward and to be more in harmony, at peace and balance, to be more empowered. But there is a lot about moving through certain things and mastering a balance within self, the divine masculine and feminine. So the divine masculine gets Sagittarius, last zodiac 2022. He is walking away. He has let go of something. He gets the 8 of Cups. Walking away. I always love this particular card in this deck. I love this deck. This is probably one of my favorite decks. If you guys follow me with readings. So she's walking away. It's like she's done a burning ritual. That bowl there in the water is there's something in there she's let go of. She's done a burning, she's releasing, and she's walking. And in the far side, there is the sun is rising up. She's walking to something new. So this is a divine masculine card. He's like, I'm ready. So our masculine action energy part of ourselves is saying, let's get going. the divine feminine. Yep, she's ready to start anew too. She gets the Ace of Wands. So she's ready to start something anew with fire, with passion. That's the Ace of Wands. Ready to celebrate and illuminate. So once again, we started this Capricorn, the very first one of this reading, with them both getting justice and being in harmony with something. We'd leave the divine masculine and feminine with them ready to walk away and celebrate, move something forward with passion, light, and new beginning. And I would say, and we have, like I said, the guide that's for that month is take charge with authority, lead. It's the Lord. He is in his power. And the tablet energy, the emerald tablet activation, which I find is one very powerful activation. Cosmic ordering, divine alchemy, conscious manifesting. Woo! So I'm sure you guys probably all sped maybe a little bit more quickly through as I was doing that and also talking a lot. Hopefully have it all written down. Now, here's the thing I would also suggest is a 4-card reading for the elements. And if the elements are not working for you in the sense that you're not as drawn to the elements, do a 4-card draw for each of the seasons to get an energetic theme. So that is where you would be working with your oracle card for support theme guidance in that and what's going to be working with you. And you could pick a 4-card draw. I'm actually going to go completely to another deck for that because there was a lot of cards right here in front of me. So I'm going to stay with the elements because the elements also are playing in with those zodiacs because I want us to think about the zodiacs, and every zodiac sign is an elemental aspect right to it, so that there will be layering within that I can connect to those zodiac, but also there's an energetic as we move through the wheel, right, with the elements too. You guys, if you haven't done yours yet, I would say do that. I'm going to do the elemental, and I'm going to be starting with how the wheel starts for the zodiac. So I'm going to be starting with the fire for the collective for 2022. Fire energy says hand in the universe. The universe is your partner. And then I'm moving on to earth. Skywriting the fates. I'm using the Shaman's Dream Oracle card for these. And then moving along the wheel into the next element, we're moving into air. And jeweled web connectivity. I'm going to intuitively read these in a moment. And then leaving with our water energy. Gardens of Venus, rest and renewal. We definitely got that a lot. Some of those messages in there about resting and renewal, death and rebirth. So anything that was coming up with water element energy in those zodiacs around the wheels, I know you astrologers that have done the program, you know exactly where those ones are. If not, you're going to go back in your notes and remind yourself what those ones are. So I'm going to do it quickly for you guys in general. Fire, we're talking about Aries. We're talking about Leo. And we were talking about Sagittarius. Then going into the earth signs, we're talking about Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And then we went into the air, and we're talking about Gemini. We are talking about Libra and Aquarius. And then leaving us with water, and that will be Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So hand in the universe for the fire signs. There is something being gifted. The universe itself is a partner working with you to help you manifest, have fire and passion. Those working with the elementals in those energies for the earth sign, skywriting, the fates. Trust. What do you want? Put it out there. Dream, believe. Those earthy signs are being asked to lift a little bit more up, trust and dream and come up a little bit more than being so anchored is what I'm hearing. Moving into the air, the mind, the communications with those zodiac signs, it says the jeweled web, connectivity. So those signs of the air are saying there's connection, work with others, see who's there, knowing that the more we connect in community and weave together the web, there is going to be blessings. There's going to be more success there. It's going to be a more smoother, energetic pace, but also just like there's going to be an energetic there with the air signs. And then we move into those water signs that I mentioned, water, emotions, right? And we have the Garden of Venus. I mean, this card itself is just so peaceful. It literally is this beautiful garden. And so the Garden of Venus with the water element, rest and renewal. Those water elements may be moving through a lot of emotions. And we had that as a message in here collectively about having to rest as the emotions move, to alchemize through it, to balance, to integrate, and to seek within your own like personal garden and into love, self-love, and rest for that, right? Because we think of Venus. And one card, I told you guys to pull one in the center from source, the spirit message, just for your higher soul self that's guiding, like I see it as the star, the source spirit star of all of this for you for 2022. And I'm asking for one, please, for the collective. What is here? What is that source light, the highest light that's piercing through, weaving through everything in 2022 for the collective? This is always a cute card in this deck. First of all, we get another 4 number here, which we had a lot of 4s. A lot of passage, a lot of portals, but a lot of anchoring to what is new. And this card here for the collective is called Caterpillar, and it's opportunity. And so it's like this kitty cat with all this eyes. So Caterpillar, get it? But there's like the possibilities, the opportunities. I think that's going to be a really good thing for all of us to remember, of the opportunities and new things that we are birthing and growing and moving into. There is so much opportunity, so many choices. And for us definitely to freaking remember that, to see with many eyes, right? Many things. How you guys doing? Danielle, you're writing it all down. You're going to give me a recap. We're going to report it, right? Did I not tell you I was assigning you a job? No. So anybody notice something coming up in their personal reading or any questions that were coming up? A theme? No, nobody knows a theme. Up and down, like a flow up and down. Going for you, Sharon? Mm-hmm. Could it feel like you get through one thing, you navigate through something, and then it's okay, here's the next thing? Because that's a part of a 6 energy year. We clean and clear, and then we can move the way and the obstacles for the next layering. Go deeper and say thank you. Okay, next. What am I seeing there, Sharon? I can't see, and you're on mute. So you have the Ace of Wands, a new beginning. You're still muted.
That was my last card to pick. That was my last card. To pick.
Perfect. Which was, we had Ace of Wands here for the Divine Feminine. Yeah. New beginning. Vula, Nancy. Are you ladies going to go back and anchor into all of your zodiac information and energetics? Maybe it's seeping through a little bit from the program, but also you guys can take this and look at where your natal chart is, right? That you guys know, and the houses and how the houses are playing with these zodiacs at this time of the year too. There's so many layers, right? Layers upon layers. Nancy, I know I give you lots of gold stars, triple stars, and I probably should mail you a whole sheet of stars. She's working hard with her notes and everything back there. How was it for you as you're writing along, trying to find, there we go.
I just thought it was super cool. Like, I've done so many different types of readings, but I love the layering of this one. And like, just right now as I'm looking, because I am using a new deck, so I'm just kind of looking at their notes of it and just going, oh yeah, of course. Like, and I love that feeling. And then it was just like, next I'm like, okay, now I want to go back and look at that sign. And I did use the astrology cards as my anchor. Perfect. And kind of like, oh, okay, this already is helping it connect that much more. And then of course my mind just opens to the possibilities of like, oh, well, you could do this for somebody's birthday present, starting at their birth workaround kind of thing. So I'm trying to focus on mine while my mind's also going, but this and this. And overall, like, theme, I am so excited for next year. Like, for me, it does feel like this rocket out of the gate, propelling forward kind of thing. And each month just kind of kept building, but in a really safe, loving, supported way. Like, I feel super supported by the cards for next year.
Perfect. Now remember, we start this year, the first month is a 7 energy month.
Yes.
Which is a lot. It's a rocket in itself. I mean, 7 energy is like, let's get going. So for those of you that need a reminder of like a little bit about numerology, so January is gonna go fast. So spend this little time as we're leading up to Capricorn season, literally a week left before winter solstice, and get really like anchored. Ask if there's anything that needs to be let go of and shift it, so that you can get ready to move into that next new phase for yourself, the next new year. And of course, for any of you, I know there's people going to be watching the video, and those that have been here, we do start January 11th. We're going to start our soul astrology again. Our students are coming in to anchor even more deeply to be masters. So if you're interested in that, you can definitely, I'll put the link in there below. You can go check that program. And then I'm going to be bringing back my tarot class, which I know a couple of you have done before. And so that will happen right after we're done this whole astrology, to dive into more tarot, the archetypes. Oh, so many. I always like using this because I find they're helpful tools for us as we're navigating our month, our week, what's going on with the cosmos, but also within our relationships, because that's a big part that I focus on, is what's happening within a relationship with ourselves and the relationships with others around us. And all this definitely helps. So any questions before we wrap up our fun playtime? Like I said, it was called a playtime fun. Let's come out, see what's in store for us. No, you guys are all good. I'm also going to recommend most of you guys know this, but if you do not have your Magic of I calendar for 2022, Sharon, I probably mentioned that. I know Barb, who's coming into astrology with us too, she just probably ordered hers. Cindy, do you know the Magic of I? Oh, I mean, I just want it, like, whether we, it's just a good, excellent tool. And I think most of the students got it, but this is last year's edition of it. I did order mine. I'm not allowing myself to open it till Christmas. I've kept it tucked away from myself. Magic of I is the company. and they have journals, but they have an astrological planner for the year. And there is so much wisdom and so many great things in this. Like, I'm going to keep you track of the moon. They're going to keep you track of like what phase you're in every day. The planets, the zodiacs. I mean, they've done such a beautiful job. And I highly recommend it for anybody that likes to keep track of certain things. Check them out. That's my plug for them. Along with the oracle card, the decks too. I'm a big plug for her too. My top notes. Anyhow, thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I will upload this video, send it off to you guys' email tomorrow, and I will attempt to sort the cards out here, but I'm glad I just went through it during the video. So that you have it, and if it wants to read it, rewatch it or anything like that, you can do the notes and that. But I will try to sort some of these out and take some like a picture or something of them for you too. So thank you, ladies, and maybe seeing some of you guys the next few days for the Yule. Also, Winter Solstice online on Thursday. If you don't know about that, it's under all my events, robertarobbins.com/event. That's at 6 p.m. if you guys want to deepen into the turn of the wheel that's coming up and do a journey in that. And like I said, I'll put the link for our January start of the soul astrology. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.